Well, it is what it is. I'm honestly not even mad about this loss. This is like the first time all year that I really don't care because just get me to the playoffs, god damn it. Just get me to meaningful hockey, god damn it. Because you know what? I'm bored. I'm bored. I'm bored of watching these games at this point, and I just miss meaningful hockey. These past few games have not been meaningful hockey, and I it's only been like a week or so, but I already miss it. I already miss the meaningful hockey because I want to be on the edge of my seat. I want to actually be able to care about these games, but I just simply can't care right now. And it seems like the Rangers just really didn't even care to show up today. And I'm not even upset about it because of the fact that you're playing a back to back. You played a gritty game last night. You got in late to St. Louis, switching time zones. I quite frankly don't blame them if they didn't want to wake up and show up really and play hard for this game because at the end of the day, they're playing meaningless hockey regardless, and they still were in this game to begin with. So, again, I'm not going to lose sleep over this loss to the St. Louis Blues. You just move on to the next one and just hope that this isn't how they're going to play come playoff time because I can't imagine that what they did tonight's going to be how they play in the playoffs because this obviously wasn't acceptable. But again, it's game 79 of the year. They're clearly just getting ready for the playoffs at this point, and they're just resting guys like they rest Patrick Kane yet again. And you could just tell also by the way that they're distributing the minutes. You're seeing the kid line get a lot more playing time. The fourth line's playing a lot more. You could just tell that they really are kind of checked out at this point, and they're ready for the playoffs. They're ready for the playoffs, and they're just waiting at this point. But we're gonna jump and talk about this game either way. Before we do, leave a like if you enjoy this. Subscribe if you guys are new, especially if you're Ranger fans. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a video or go live next. And for anyone panicking, and yeah, this is the point that I'm trying to get across. It's okay. It's a back to back, and you have to stay healthy. We can't freak out here after a loss like this. We just can't. And if I'm telling you not to freak out after a loss, then you really shouldn't freak out after a loss. They're going to be fine. They're going to go into the playoffs and they'll turn it up a notch. But yeah, just take the point and stay healthy. You didn't even need to get a point today. At this point, second place is kind of out of the question. You're not going to get second place. You definitely aren't getting first place. So who cares? Who cares? Um, and yeah, sure, the Devils smack up good teams, but they're still playing meaningful hockey right now. They beat Columbus 8-1, but again, they're playing meaningful hockey right now. And the Rangers just recently beat Columbus 6-2. So who cares? Who really cares at this point? Again, they're not playing meaningful hockey right now until the playoffs roll around. So I really could care less about this loss. We're gonna just honestly stay more relaxed this live stream and just talk with you guys, talk with the chat. I'm not really gonna dive deep into this game because there's really no point in diving deep in this game because again, they were checked out. And yeah, that play by Miller was boneheaded in overtime, but I'm not gonna rip him the shreds for it. I'm really not. I'm gonna give a playoff preview very soon, Luca. We'll talk about that. But right now, I feel completely content with this team going into the playoffs. I think they've been a lot better defensively lately, and I think even tonight they were pretty solid defensively. There was just a couple of mistakes that they made, which I pray they don't make in the playoffs, like Artemi Panarin hogging the puck for as long as he did on that one play, like Keandre Miller overskating that puck there in overtime. Those plays just cannot happen there in the playoffs. So, and then Ryan Lindgren too, making a bad turnover. Like you can't make those plays come playoff time. I still don't think we're playing Carolina. I think that Carolina, with all the games in hand, they kind of got first place on lock, but we'll see. But let's talk about this game now. So it starts off with Jacob Trouba, who thankfully wasn't seriously hurt from that game against Tampa Bay. He ended up being okay, and he ended up playing this game. I had a feeling it was just precautionary reasons that he was taken out of last game, but Jacob Trouba, he starts off the game by tripping Sammy Blay, and the Rangers kill that penalty off. So good PK work early on in the game. Halak made some big saves, made a big save on Brandon Saad after he got a breakaway opportunity from a turnover from Phil Pedal. Miller then makes a nice play to break up a 2-on-1. So Keandre Miller, he definitely had a bad moment in overtime, but not too bad there by Keandre Miller to break up that 2-on-1. And I thought the period was just meh. I mean, they played solid defensively. Shots were 8-6 in favor of the Blues. Didn't generate enough offense. I thought they played a bit soft. They weren't really skating. You could just tell they were checked out of this game. Second period, they played a lot better. Those shots were 12-5 in favor of the Rangers. And unfortunately, St. Louis, though, ended up being on the board first, and they were the only team to get on the board in this period, funny enough, as Panarin just hogs the puck, holds it for 10 seconds, and he ends up turning the puck over. And Torochenko ends up getting himself a breakaway, and he snipes it. So, yeah, it just ignore Brett's. He's one of the long time. Talk about your Pens. Your Pens are fighting for their dear lives right now. I don't know if we want to talk about the Pens right now. They might not even make the playoffs. But regardless, to get back on track with the game, I thought the Rangers looked good that period. Again, they had the shots. They just couldn't end up getting enough quality chances. Third period, Pavel Buchnevich goes off for a tripping penalty, and the Rangers end up scoring on the power play. And they had a nice cycle going there. Mika Zibanejad got it to Kreider. Kreider deflects it, and it goes over to Vladimir Tarasenko, and he scores in his homecoming game back to St. Louis. Zibanejad and Fox end up getting the assist. I guess it didn't go off Kreider. It might have went off of, I think it was Parayko in front of the net there. So Kreider doesn't get credited with an assist there. That makes it a 1-1 game. And then St. Louis, towards the halfway point in the period, made it a 2-1 game as Ryan Lindgren has a bad turnover in his own zone. And Halak makes a big save, but then the puck was loose in the crease, and they end up tapping it in. That made it a 2-1 game. And then you had the refs just missing a bunch of calls. They missed like 2 blatant interferences at the end of this game, but again, I really don't care. Mikkola almost sets up Tarasenko for a beauty of a goal. Falk then goes off for a slashing penalty as he ended up slashing Mika Zibanejad, who got himself a breakaway opportunity. And the Rangers tie the game at 2 there late as they pulled the goalie for a 6-on-4. And Panarin goes low to Tarasenko. Tarasenko finds Trocheck in front, and Trocheck buries it, roofs it on Jordan Binnington to make it a 2-2 game. So they got a lot of chances there at the end. I thought they looked slow, though, for the most part that period. Shots were 6-5 in favor of the Blues. Overtime comes along. Buchnevich almost tips one in, and Halak makes a stop. But unfortunately, Keandre Miller ends up overskating the puck there in overtime. 2-on-1 comes the other way. You had some miscommunication with Trocheck and Panarin of who to cover. And then, Shen feeds Kapanen. Kapanen ends up scoring. The former Penguin, by the way, Brett's. He ends up scoring there. And that is your game. It is 3-2 shots in the game, 24-22 in favor of the Rangers. Again, I thought they played good defensively for the most part. Just a couple of bad turnovers, which I don't anticipate them making come playoff time. They were making a lot of lazy plays. I really think that the back-to-back contributed to that. I hate to make excuses, but it just is the reality of it. You're going up against a rested team in St. Louis. It's just bound to happen. Face-off percentage, 65-35 in favor of the Rangers. Power play went 2 for 2, which was good to see. St. Louis's power play went 0 for 1. Hits 15-11 in favor of the Blues. Block shots 18-12 in favor of the Blues. Gave away 7 for the Rangers, 8 for the Blues. So, yeah, I don't really have much else to say about this game. I thought that in terms of your good players, I thought Tarasenko had a great game today, getting 2 points, 6 shots on goal. He had himself a good game in his return back to St. Louis. Would have liked for him to have connected on that shot there or that pass there from Mikkola, rather. That would have been nice, but it is what it is. I thought he had a pretty good game. I don't really have a complaint with. I mean, Panarin, you maybe want better from him. Probably want better from him with those turnovers. Again, the turnovers just killed them. It was just a matter of them turning the puck over way too much, and I just don't anticipate them making those in the playoffs. And if they do, well, they're going to pay big time against a team like New Jersey who capitalizes on those turnovers, and that's their game to play in transition. So let's just hope that tonight was them just being checked out and not really caring as much, which is what I'm going to just hope that it was. So we're just gonna read chat for the rest of the live stream. I have no desire to really talk about the rest of this game. There's really not much else to talk about. It was kind of a boring game. The Rangers just didn't generate enough offense. They played soft, and they need to be better. Simple as that. And yeah, I could care less about this game either, freak. I really could care less. Score on and off the ice. I wouldn't be worried about them not playing that great tonight. I think that I think that they'll be fine come playoff time. We've seen them play really good lately. I think that I think they'll be fine. And even then, I didn't think they played really awful tonight. I thought they had an okay game. So I wouldn't be concerned. I got a feel for Halak, who wanted that first win against St. Louis since he doesn't have one in his career. Agree. You want everyone to be healthy for the playoffs. We have to remember, too, like, for anyone that's freaking out about a game like this, I'll take you back to last year when they played the Montreal Canadiens and they quite literally just played one of their worst games imaginable. Not one of their worst games, but they played a pretty bad game, like a similar game to what this was. They played a very similar game to this against Montreal last year, and it just was what it was, and it clearly didn't affect them come playoff time, as they, of course, made the conference finals. They had some bad games at the end. They had a bad game against Carolina at the end of the year last year, had a bad game against Boston. It is what it is. It is what it is. When you're kind of locked in a spot, it's whatever. But even then, they had some good games towards the end there. They had a couple they had back-to-back shutouts there against Detroit and Winnipeg, and then they beat the Islanders too. So it is what it is. Because again, yesterday they beat Tampa. So yeah, you got a point. It's not a big deal. It's really not that big of a deal. I'm tired of Panarin's undisciplined, lazy giveaways. He's a turnover machine, and I haven't forgotten he totally disappears in the playoffs. He did last year. Let's ride him on the bench for 10 minutes. Agree. His turnovers were just terrible tonight, and they're unacceptable. You can't make them come playoff time, but I'm not going to crucify him tonight. I'm really not. I could care less about this game. I really could care less. Agree. Carolina's the better matchup for the Rangers, but we'll see. Just don't want them losing any confidence. That's all. I'm not worried about them losing confidence. Again, this is similar to how the end of the season went last year. I'm not panicking here. Yeah, agree. I'd rather them, like we keep saying this entire live stream, better that they stay healthy. Because that game against Tampa, God forbid another guy got hurt, or God forbid Trouba seriously got hurt. In a game like that, that's really not that meaningful at the end of the day. No, Igor's going to play. He's going to play. Great effort for Tarasenko. Agree there. Dumb. He's the Story Miller playing Pokemon Go on his visor and too busy catching Jigglypuff. Panarin is a fancy show and missing Patty Kane. Halak is good. Tarasenko, good. I mean, yeah, Keandre Miller has definitely been not good lately. I mean, there's no really sugarcoating it. He needs to be better. But again, I mean, he didn't have a bad game against Tampa last night. He's been okay. But yeah, tonight was definitely rough for Keandre Miller. But even then, he makes that big play to break up a 2-on-1. So exactly, yeah. Tampa Bay, they must be fuming about that game last night. Cirelli ended up being out. Hagel ended up being out. Jeannot ended up getting hurt in this game against the Islanders tonight. Pat Maroon got hurt in the game against the Islanders. Chernak was out going into the game. So yeah, this is exactly why I didn't want them going super try hard against the game in game 79 against the St. Louis Blues when they're not fighting for the division or fighting for home ice at this point. They're literally fighting for nothing. They're in the third spot. They're in the third spot. They're waiting to see who they play, of course, because Carolina could still lose the division. I don't think they will, but they could. So they're waiting at this point. Yeah, I thought that was ridiculous that Fox got a fine, but Department of Player Safety back at it again. And I found it hilarious too. I ended up tweeting about this, which follow me on Twitter if you're not already. I love all these keyboard warriors on Twitter under the Department of Player Safety tweet about Killorn getting fined $5,000 for spearing Igor Shesterkin. I love how they're all calling Shesterkin soft, saying he flopped this and that. I'd love for I'd love for any of these keyboard warriors to step outside for once and play a damn sport for once in their life and try getting hit in the nuts. I'll wait and see. Tell me how that goes. Tell me that feels great. Let's see how you react getting hit in the nuts. Let's see how that goes for you. If he's flopping, I'd love to see. I would love to see how these people react. Granted, I'll be the first to admit Igor does flop now and then, but to say he flopped after getting blatantly speared in the nuts by Alex Killorn is just stupid. You just have to be stupid, and you just have to be. If you take off the Ranger hating goggles for a minute, and you'd realize, oh, okay, I'm stupid. I don't know why I would ever think that for a second. Miller sloppy play. Rangers lost 12 OT games. I hate the 3-on-3, but worse, I hate the shootout. The NHL also, please get rid of the delay game penalty. It should be a violation. I don't have a problem with any of the things. I really don't, except the shootout. I think shootouts are stupid, but yeah. And yeah, I liked the gritty effort too, but I'd rather them save it for the playoffs. And yeah, I know the Miller slander is here tonight. I get it. Cheap play by Killorn, yeah, 100%. The NHL didn't say Igor soft. The idiotic fans of this sport said that he's soft. Mostly the Tampa fans, Jersey fans, Penguin fans, Islander fans. That's really who's was calling him soft. But yeah, you would think that it's just common sense here, but apparently we live in just a world where people are just incredibly blinded by bias. Like, it's wild. But all right, I'm gonna wrap things up here. Like I said, this was a boring game. I didn't even anticipate going this long talking about this game because it was really meaningless. But that's gonna be it for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. We'll have Mets content up tomorrow. Rangers Saturday, I believe they play next. So we'll of course be live there. Even though again, who cares about these games really? Who cares? I'll try to get a podcast episode up soon. I've really just been waiting to see who they play. And I think I want to go with a big podcast episode. How would you guys feel if we got some guests on? I think I want to go for a lot of guests on that episode. Maybe get C Jets, maybe get Joey, maybe get Statboy Steven, get a few amount of guests on. Why not? Make it a big 6-man episode. Why not? Maybe Filk too. I gotta reach out to a couple people. I'm going on a tangent about what's in my head right now, but yeah, I'm trying to get things working here for a podcast for sure. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. Turn on your notifications so you know when I upload a live. Yeah, like I said, I want to try to get Philk on if I can. I've tried to get him on a couple times now, but schedules just haven't aligned. So I'm gonna reach out to him probably sometime this week and see if I could get him on for a podcast. But that's going to be it. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Let's go Rangers.